The man is a winner.
If this was anybody else, we'd be calling him Superman and having
He the best player to play off.
Hell fucking yeah.
He's a gamer, man. He you know, in the biggest moments, you know, he shows up. And that's what MVPs are supposed to do.
Everyone dreams of being the ultimate winner, the one who wins at every level. But there are only 3 point guards in history who have been able to do this. And that's Magic Johnson, Isiah Thomas, and now Jalen Brunson. But while Magic and Isiah Thomas did the same, we can't help but notice how unique Jalen Brunson's situation was. How he went from someone who everyone expected to make no real difference to someone Luka Doncic says he's different because he has a winner mentality. So, let's look at how Jalen Brunson won at every level in a way that no other point guard has ever done.
I feel like basketball has always been a part of my life. My dad played in the NBA for 9 years, and so I kind of grew up with that. To see how hard he worked kind of set the bar for me.
I got people run up on me all the time. Hey, I got a 10-year-old, I got a 12-year-old. I want to be like Jalen. Like, what do you do? And I'm like, there's not really no magic potion. We just work every day.
Long before Madison Square Garden was chanting MVP, long before NBA defenders were throwing double teams at him, Jalen Brunson was simply a kid watching his father go to work. Rick Brunson spent 9 years living the NBA life, and Jalen got to see everything. He watched the workouts, the preparation, and the discipline that came long before tip-off. There really wasn't any shortcut. They just worked every single day. And that work started paying off in Illinois. Playing for Adlai E. Stevenson High School, Brunson didn't simply become one of the state's best players. He completely transformed the history of the program. As a junior, Stevenson finished 32-2, the best record the school had ever produced. They reached the state tournament and finished third. But third wasn't winning. But it was proof that his hard work would pay off. The following season, he returned better, averaging more than 23 points per game while leading Stevenson to a 29-3 record, and, for the first time ever, a boys basketball state championship for Lake County.
Brunson creates his own space. The miss from Sebring. Brunson will attack. Whoa. For Peacock. Brunson all the way to the rack. Brunson in the lane for two.
He ended it all by scoring a championship game record 30 points in the state final. However, that wasn't unusual. Jalen had already scored 56 points in the state semifinal and finished his career as Lake County's all-time leading scorer with 2,622 points. At this stage, Brunson was already McDonald's All-American, Illinois Mr. Basketball, and a 2-time Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year. But winning in high school is one thing. Winning against the world at the international level was another thing. In 2015, Jalen Brunson joined Team USA for the FIBA U19 World Cup to compete against future NBA players and the best prospects each nation had to offer. However, this just turned out to be another mountain for Jalen to conquer.
Brunson hits the three-pointer.
Once he was done with that, he returned to Villanova. As a freshman, Jalen helped the Wildcats win the 2016 NCAA National Championship. 2 years later, he returned to lead Villanova to a 36-4 finish. And he did that by averaging 18 points per game while shooting over 52% from the field and better than 40% from three, proving that efficiency and winning usually travel together.
Goes all the way to midcourt, and now Brunson steps up, fires the three. Oh my goodness.
You make mistakes and they're able to capitalize.
Brunson, head fake, drive to the basket. Oh, look at that freshman.
National champions. Here comes Brunson. Oh! With the one foul that he has on him. And he posts up very well, Brunson does. Very comfortable there on a fade. It's good.
And they like the high pick and roll, and they do pop quickly, as they just saw with Pascal.
Brunson. Oh, no look feed.
When the tournament reached its biggest stages, Brunson somehow became even more clutch. He scored 18 points against Kansas in the Final Four, and then he guided Villanova to another national championship. By the end of that season, Jalen had won the National Player of the Year, the Naismith Award, the Wooden Award, Big East Player of the Year, and other honors. Eventually, Villanova retired his jersey, placing him among the greatest players in school history. By now, Brunson had conquered high school, conquered international basketball, and conquered college basketball. The only question left was whether the NBA would finally be the place where the streak ended. And, in the beginning, it looked like that would happen. The NBA is supposed to separate everybody else from the truly elite. When Dallas selected Jalen Brunson with the 33rd pick in the 2018 NBA draft, almost nobody believed they had just drafted a future franchise player. Second-round picks are expected to become role players if everything goes well. Some never become rotation players at all. But Jalen only continued to improve year after year, becoming more efficient and more dependable. During the 2022 playoffs, Luka went down with an injury before Dallas's first-round series against Utah, leaving the Mavericks without their superstar. But instead of panicking, Brunson simply took over.
In 2019 with Brooklyn. Brunson to Green. As of tonight for Mike Conley, the 15-year veteran from Ohio State. Drive by Brunson, and Brunson shot off the glass.
Jalen was fifth in the league this year in offensive fouls drawn with 44.
And he nails a three.
And pumping his fist after that call at midcourt.
Nice crossover. Brunson around Conley. He scores!
Brunson exploded for 41 points in Game 2 and averaged nearly 30 points, helping Dallas survive until their franchise player returned. Think about the pressure of that moment. The Mavericks were asking a former second-round pick to carry a playoff team, and he did exactly that. Still, when it was time for contracts, the Mavs proved they had no idea who they had on their hands. Brunson wasn't just a good complementary player, he was a capable leader who wanted to stay, but eventually, they let him go. And he went to a team that hadn't won a thing in over half a century. You see, New York was desperate for silverware, so naturally, people questioned whether Brunson could handle New York, whether he was worth the money, whether he was talented enough to become the face of one of basketball's biggest franchises. Once again, Jalen Brunson had the answer. By the time Jalen Brunson reached New York, people already knew he could score. They knew he could run an offense. What nobody knew was just how quickly he would change the identity of an entire franchise. The Knicks didn't suddenly become contenders because they discovered some revolutionary offensive system. They became contenders because they finally had someone who refused to lose. Season after season, Brunson kept adding moments that made his resume impossible to ignore. He became an all-star. He became an all-NBA player. He won the NBA's Clutch Player of the Year award. He won the NBA Cup MVP. And he didn't do it by luck, and the numbers showed it. He averaged over 33 points and nearly 7 assists during the tournament. Then came the playoff moments that New York fans will probably be talking about for decades.
Fakes, drives, gets inside, pull-up jumper, got it! Jalen
Cavs might want a timeout if he scores.
Brunson, three-pointer, puts it in! Brunson fakes, drives, gets inside, layup, he banks it home, and this is the... Brunson searching for an opening, gets inside, kicks it out in the corner, Landry shot, but he's been red hot, and that continues. Brunson fires a three, it's good.
Clutch time, winning time is just Jalen time. He finished the job at the conference level, winning the conference finals MVP. Then came the moment Knicks fans had waited more than a half century to experience, an NBA championship. Not only did Brunson lead New York to its first title since 1973, but he also walked away with finals MVP after delivering a spectacular 45-point masterpiece in Game 5. That performance left Draymond Green with only one conclusion.
Jalen Brunson ultimately left no debate. He was the Finals MVP for sure. Jalen Brunson did exactly what closers do. On the road, scored almost half the team points. 45. Leave no debate. You ask yourself, what did he prove to the basketball world? Everything.
Draymond didn't say Brunson proved he could score. He didn't say he proved he belonged. He said he proved everything. That's actually been the story of Brunson's entire career. The bigger the stage becomes, the calmer he looks. Gilbert Arenas believes that's a trait you simply can't teach.
But, Brunson has a skill set that is only given to certain type of men. Jordan had it, Kobe had it. I think Brunson mentally is the closest thing to what Kobe was in the fourth quarter. He can be 0 for 20.
Next shot's the most
in the
important.
last 5 minutes, you already know everything went out the window. It is different. He's going to go 4 for 5. He's going to put the team on his back. And it's hard to find that skill.
Arenas compared Brunson's mentality to Kobe's Mamba mentality, which is simply a mentality of complete focus towards winning. And from one ultimate winner to another, here is Magic Johnson on Jalen Brunson.
The man is a winner.
Yes.
He won in high school, won at Villanova. This is the guy who you want to have on your team in those moments, in this situation where it's tough, because he'll figure it out. He's so intelligent and he's tough, physically and mentally.
When Magic calls another point guard a winner, he's speaking from experience very few people in basketball history possess. Winning at one level is impressive. Winning at every level is almost unheard of. Jalen Brunson didn't just collect championships. He became the driving force behind them. From making history in Illinois, to winning World Cup gold with Team USA, to leading Villanova to 2 national championships. But the NBA was supposed to be where the streak ended, especially when he moved to a team that had forgotten what winning even feels like. But instead of the NBA breaking his streak, he simply kept winning. Interestingly, one person saw what he was doing before he won. And you can catch all that on Charles Barkley is totally right about Jalen Brunson next.